And for those that are watching, I'm Elise Finney. I'm the Director of Business Growth for Argent Bridge Advisors. And I'm joined today by Erin Kidd with a firm called Thompson Greenspun, which is a CPA firm in Fairfax, Virginia. And Erin is the Tax Individual Program Manager, and she's an enrolled agent and an accredited financial counselor. And Erin is also one of our regular speakers on our webinar called Done with Divorce. Well, let's get started. Kind of just guide me a little bit about the kind of general rules and filing options if I'm legally separated.
So generally, what the IRS rules are, if you were still legally married by December 31st of the year, then you only have two filing status options. You're married filing joint or you're married filing separate. But there are some exceptions where you can be considered unmarried if you're still legally married, like your divorce is not final. And that's what happens is when there's children in play, basically. So what's considered so the next opportunity is then head of household. And a head of household is someone who has, if you're still legally married, but you're separated, there are certain criteria you have to meet. So you must live apart from your spouse for the last 6 months of the year. You must have custody of the child. So the child must live in your home for more than 6 months of the year. And you must provide over half the support for your household. And that means the mortgage, the food, all those kinds of things. It doesn't include like education, support of the children, but it's of the house, utilities, insurance, all of that. So you're providing over half the support for the house. You've lived apart from your spouse for 6 months, and custody of child. They've lived with you more than 6 months of the year. And that is the number of nights. So it's not necessarily what's in, let's say, a divorce decree or a parenting agreement. Those things come into play, but the IRS rule is the child must live with you more than 6 months of the year, and you must live apart from your spouse for the last 6 months of the year. And there's a very interesting case, actually. The tax court actually denied a head of household status to a taxpayer whose spouse would not move out of the house, and they lived in the house during the last half of the year. Tax court says, sorry, you can either do married filing jointly or married filing separate. You're not head of household. Mm-hmm. Can you believe that? That just, yeah, how frustrating that must have been. And the benefits to that, the benefits to filing head of household, if you qualify, are it's a better tax bracket. Mm-hmm. So, we have a progressive rate. And so those brackets change what you can actually be taxed at. Married filing separate versus married filing jointly, and then head of household. You lose a lot of benefits when you file separately. That may be a lot of credits that you might have the opportunity to take.